Marianela, can you just, for people who don't know who you are, just give us a little bit of background? How long have you been in Atlanta? Where's your family from? And how did you get into robotics?
Yes, I actually have been in Atlanta around 10 years. We arrived, and actually no, 12 years. We arrived in 2014. And 2014, 2013, we arrived with the whole family. We moved actually from Miami here, and I'm originally from Venezuela. I'm half Venezuelan, half Italian. I grew up in Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela and grew up in Italy. Did the university in Italy, and yes, and then the war is a big melting pot, and I end up actually moving to Miami with my previous companion, and remain in Miami, and then that is the history. We have actually, I had been working all the time in technical sales. My background is in sales, in business, but also obviously in technology. So I have been in technology, in different aspects of technology, for hardware and software solutions, consulting sales, big deployers, and multi-site applications and development of projects for different companies, working mainly in the area, as I said, sales and business development, but always for technical company. I always had this love for technology and innovation that always had been with me, and had worked with international markets on that as well.
I can see how excited you get, like even when you're demonstrating, which you have been with these robots for years. It's our first time, but I can see how excited you are to introduce and educate people about it. I imagine that's a big part of your job as well.
That is a fantastic part of my job, actually, educate the people, because the first step right now in avoiding this fear that is right now against robots and humanoids is about educate people to understand what the robot can do, what the robot cannot do. Innovations and technology had moved forward humanity since day one, since the moment that we actually the first one invented and created the wheel. That was our first step, and we had to continue to innovate, because this is part of us, of being human and improve. Now, robotics and the way how robotics can help to actually facilitate our jobs and give more space to humans to be humans is part of evolution that we're doing. So the technology is going there, but we as a people had to catch up in our mind to understand that they are here to help us. Now, it's true, there is some ethical arguments that we can talk about, control of the robot, limitations of certain things, and this is actually we have to talk about to actually being able to make actually intelligent decisions regarding that matter.
Yeah. And I mean, the same thing could be said about anything that comes out, like the internet or social media. It's
Absolutely.
here to stay, and now we're navigating it as a people.
Exactly. So the key is actually get the education, get regular people to actually talk about and explain what it is. Because honestly, the first reaction that I get everywhere that I go and I start to talk about robotics is like, oh my God, this is not gonna happen. That is so this is the relationship of love, hate of technology, that fear, but all is coming for fear of the unknown. When you start to explain what the robot really does and what they are their limitations and what set up the proper expectation, people have a complete different change in the perspective that they had toward the robots and toward the technology, being automation or autonomous robots.
You teach that as a tool,
yes.
You educate, and then that fear is taken away and people realize, okay, this is actually just bringing me food.
Exactly.
It's not taking over the world.
Exactly. And now what the people don't think about is that in the case of the server robot, that server that is going 100 times to the kitchen every day, instead of doing that, it will have more time to actually to dedicate to each one of the tables and give more quality time with each one of the customer, going to you and say, hey, are you okay? Could I bring you something else? How could I help you? So it actually liberate the server to actually had more time to spend with the customer in the case of the server robot. But in the case, for instance, of the housekeeping in a hotel, the time that actually that housekeeper is taking to clean the corridor, the hallways, and that floor, that person can use it actually instead of cleaning the corridor to actually cleaning the doors and the baseboards or the windows. So it's actually, it really gives time to actually to be used in other tasks that actually are pertinent to that specific job.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like that you said that too, because I know some people, maybe some people will think it's cool to have a fully robot ran cafe, but a lot of people do still want that human interaction.
Yes, and this is the center of our conversation. I do not believe, and I work in robotics, I do not believe that actually the robots, what we are trying to do with the robots actually is to replace the human. What we're trying to do is to facilitate the job of the humans. So taking the tasks that are repetitive, that it could be done by automation, to do it by automation. So in order that the human will have more time to do what they really supposed to be doing, creating the interaction, acting with each other. So that is the part where the really robots and automation could help.
Let me ask you this. I know you've said that a lot of your robots come from China. Right now, there is some trade questions about what is going to happen. What's going through your mind with that right now?
Well, a lot of things, to be honest. It had been a roller coaster in the last 2 months with the new administrations and the new policies regarding tariff and imports from China, from different countries, but specific from China. I do believe that I understand what is the point of view from the current government, and overall, I think that I agree. But at the same time, I think that change had to be done in a dosage. You cannot change from one day to another in such a drastic way. We need to build out the infrastructure behind to actually being able to keep up with the production of automation and technology. Honestly, it will take sometimes to actually to arrive to that level. We had to actually prepare our, technically speaking, our workforce to improve actually efficiencies in production and arrive and become smarter about the production of technology. By the way, not only technology, we are talking about the final goods as well, but for technology, you really need a very strong, labor force that is technically prepared. So we need time to work on that. It's part also of all of us working in the technology side to actually start to take measures and to prepare these new people, these new employees that need to be actually technological savvy to actually start to work in the new plan that actually. So the government in general in the different states had actually started to implement a little bit of programs to incentivize this educational part for technology, but still there is a lot of things to do, let's be honest on that, and it will take time. So I think that this wake-up call for everybody to understand that we have to do it. The tariff had actually delayed a lot of my product actually arriving, so it's taking longer. A lot of the manufacturers actually delaying the deliveries of the product because actually nobody is not clear yet where it will go. So a lot of changes had been done this week. Actually, we have it seems that there is a start to come on. The sense is coming back to everybody. So open to the table to actually to negotiation. So we still need to figure it out. But in meanwhile, this is a wake-up call to say, hey, we need to invest more in education. We need to invest more in small businesses and minority businesses that work in technology. Actually incentivize how work together to see how we're going to prepare that tomorrow, workforce in technology. What we're going to do So I think that that is a critical point that we need to face, and these have accelerated that conversation. So if you ask me, it's not all bad, because it's a forced step into the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to flip my questions how I usually ask them, because I like that you ended on that, saying it's not all bad. What are you so optimistic about?
Because change is in the air. I have been working with robotics for the last 3 years and a half. The change in perception from 3 years to now is huge. 3 years ago, my robots will go to a restaurant and will start, and the people will be either in love or hate it. What I noticed is a change. The people get more used. Same thing with the cleaning robots. At the beginning, 2 years ago, there was a very, very popular, conference related and trade shows in the industry, where you will see actually all the clients going by and say, this is not for us. This is never gonna take. Well, now, we're a very traditional thing. Guess what? This year, there is a huge change. You see the perception of people and say, wait a second, tell me more. What is really can I save in terms of time and labor force if I use all this robot? What is your ROI? So there is already there. The people start exactly they interested. So let's go back to what I said is like the curve of adoption of a new technology. We had passed this really initial phase where you had only the really strong innovators to actually start to even test it. And now we're going in a second phase where actually people start to actually get interest and get information about the technology. It's still in the process of educating themselves to actually do a proper decision towards that, but actually we are in the good path.
What would you say you're most concerned about right now?
Most concerned, I would say it about the level of technical education that our young people is having. I think that we need to accelerate and invest a little bit more substantially in those programs for technology, and because what we are seeing is as I said, the adoption curve is actually in the past. Any new technology, it will take between 5 to 10 years, 15 years to adopt. That time had been reduced. What means is also that new technologies are coming, but our young people is not getting prepared as fast as the technology is coming to us. What happened is that's the situation where other countries take the advantage, because those countries actually are heavily investing in education to the kids, to the youngers. Because our generation, we adapt and we actually learn, especially if you work in the technology field. But younger generations, they are very well versed in the smartphones, iPhones, etc. But they don't go the step further to actually get additional knowledge about very specific technology. Because, hear me, technology and innovation is actually the point, the very important point that it will guide actually the world, not only our country, but the world. And if we are continue to live and actually close the eyes and not investing in our younger people, then we're gonna remain very, very behind.
Yeah, we could fall behind.
Yeah,
absolutely. Can I ask you what it means for you? You mentioned investing in small business, investing in minority-owned business. Why is that so important for you?
Because actually, first of all, I'm a minority. I am a minority from different angle. I'm Latina, I'm a woman, and I work in technology. In all this aspect, actually, I find out that it's not very often that I found women that work in technology, let alone Latin women, let alone in the minority as well. So I believe that actually minority have something, and I call it thirst. we're thirsty. I think that people that is thirsty is actually more intentional in actually dedicated themselves to improve and to learn, because for us is our way to actually get over that invisible line, that trying to get a little bit further. And we can do it in different, people do it in different fields. You can do it with the sports, you can do it with work. I think that technology, one of the advantages is a level up, is a very democratic play field. Because it doesn't matter whatever color you are, whatever minority you are, whatever gender you are, you actually are in the same level. So you really, is more about educate yourselves and start to work in that field to actually do it. But a lot of minorities actually, we stop each other to actually go further because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the resources, we don't know how to arrive to that point. And that is the access to that education, the investment into that people, into the minorities, that actually it will make the difference. Because I think that we appreciate it a little bit better because the opportunity is not given, it's not granted for us all the time.
So you would say that you find in technology, no matter, you know, what color, man, woman, it's the industry's looking for the knowledge. So if you can create this thing, we don't care what you look like.
Exactly.
Bring it on over here.
Bring it on, and that is the beauty of the technology. It's a very democratic field. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter your aspect of where you're coming from, as long as you can deliver, as long as you can actually put your brain and show value. You are more than welcome, because there is a huge need in that field as well. So we need to actually educate and incentive and motivate our younger minorities to actually go. And that starts in middle school, in high school, to actually start to then actually be part of robotics and STEM programs. You know, and this is a very interesting field, because you know, at a certain point it's not cool. It's not cool. Nobody wants, because everybody to say, oh, you are the nerd. Guess what? Being intelligent and being you know, proficient in technology doesn't mean that you are a nerd. It means that you are educating yourself. But we need to change that perception among the kids. It's cool. It's cool to know about technology. It's cool about robotics. It's cool about automation. So we had to, in some way, find the formula to actually attract the young people to that.
It's cool to be smart.
Yes, it is cool to be smart. And it's cool to be a smart girl. Yes, it's even cooler.
Because as an adult, it's very cool.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you make a lot of money.
Yeah, I cannot say too much, but yeah, it's not bad at all.
Nobody's complaining about that.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to put out there? Maybe even some advice for women who are looking to get into the technology field?
Yes, there are multiple advice. The first one being active, be proactive, get information. Right now, you know, we had fields in technology that are just starting, like AI. Get information about AI. Start to do the courses. Start to understand what is that and how to can help you in your personal life. And then start to learn how you can actually use those tools to actually help other people to improve in their services, in their business, in their operations. This is, as I said, a lot of the new technology doesn't have even formal, really, education path. You can do it actually online, a lot of the things actually. And I will actually suggest to actually start there. I will also suggest get involved in your community, get in touch with your Chamber of Commerce, get in touch with your centers, incubators for entrepreneurs. For instance, I'm member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, very active, and that's one of the first wake-up calls for me to understand how to work with the community. Similar with the Russell Center for innovation for entrepreneurs, RISE. I mean, they had been so incredible with me. They had welcomed me to one of their programs, and it had been fantastic. I had grown as a professional, but also as having this connection with other minorities, with other people in the industry that really had helped me to evolve and continues, because this is a continuous, notion of understanding and learning that it never will finish. And this is the thing. If I had to summarize everything in one thing, never, ever stop to learn.
Thank you. Such great advice. Thank you so much for your time.